The other two nephrotic syndromes, focal segmental glomerulosclerosis known as FSGS and membranoproliferative glomerulonephritis MPGN. We have seen about the first two in our previous video. These are the other two nephrotic syndromes. Let's see about focal segmental glomerulosclerosis FSGS. FSGS is the most common cause of nephrotic syndrome in adults. Here, the word focal refers to sclerosis of some but not all the glomeruli. So, only some of the glomeruli are involved. Next is segmental. Segmental refers to in the affected glomeruli only one portion of capillary tuft is involved. So, in the affected glomeruli, only a portion of capillary tuft are involved. Clinical features of focal segmental glomerulosclerosis. There is acute or subacute onset of nephrotic syndrome, or there can be non-nephrotic proteinuria. Also, there is presence of hypertension, microscopic hematuria and some degree of azotemia. Coming to the classification and types of FSGS. It can either be a primary disease, which is idiopathic FSGS, or it can be associated with secondary causes like HIV, heroin addiction and sickle cell disease. This primary FSGS, which is idiopathic, occurs 10% in children and 35% in adults. Secondary event following which FSGS can occur, one of the reasons is IgA nephropathy. Others are congenital abnormalities of kidney like unilateral renal agenesis or renal dysplasia, or acquired causes like reflex nephropathy. The reflex can be like vesicoureteric reflex, etc. The other cause can be mutations in the genes that encode proteins of the slit diaphragm. The proteins include podosin, alpha actinin 4, etc. So either it can be idiopathic, that is primary, or secondary association with HIV, heroin addiction, sickle cell disease, secondary to IgA nephropathy, congenital abnormalities of kidney or acquired diseases of kidney. Another cause can be mutation in genes encoding the proteins of slit diaphragm like podosin, alpha actinin 4, etc. Coming to the features of FSGS. The features include is increased incidence of hematuria, decreased glomerular filtration rate, hypertension, non-selective proteinuria, and it has poor response to steroid therapy. So, steroids cannot be used as treatment for FSGS. It can progress to chronic kidney disease. 50% of the patients start developing end-stage renal disease within 10 years. Pathogenesis of FSGS. Firstly, there is degeneration and focal disruption of the visceral epithelial cells, that is podocytes, along with effacement of their foot process. So there is degeneration and focal disruption of the visceral epithelial cells along with the effacement of their foot processes. The epithelial damage is the hallmark of FSGS. So characteristic feature of focal segmental glomerulosclerosis is epithelial damage. There is hyalinosis and sclerosis due to entrapment of the plasma proteins in the damaged area and increased extracellular matrix deposition. So entrapment of plasma proteins in the damaged area along with increased extracellular matrix deposition leads to hyalinosis and sclerosis. Sclerosis is nothing but fibrosis. The genetic basis of pathogenesis: mutations of NPHS1 gene, which codes for the protein nephrin. So NPHS1 gene codes for the protein nephrin. Mutation of that gene leads to congenital nephrotic syndrome of Finnish type. Next, there can be mutation of NPHS2 gene. This NPHS2 gene codes for the protein podosin. This results in steroid resistant nephrotic syndrome of childhood onset, and this is autosomal recessive type. Next, there can be mutations in the genes encoding podosin actin binding protein, which is alpha actinin 4. The mutation in the gene encoding for alpha actinin 4 can lead to autosomal dominant FSGS. These are the three genetic bases for the development of FSGS. NPH1S gene coding for nephrin leads to congenital nephrotic syndrome of Finnish type. Mutation of NPHS2 gene encoding for podosin leads to steroid resistant nephrotic syndrome of childhood onset. Mutation in the gene encoding podocyte actin binding protein, which is alpha actinin 4, leads to autosomal dominant focal segmental glomerulosclerosis. The morphology of FSGS. First, light microscopy findings. There is presence of focal and segmental lesions. As the name suggests, there are focal and segmental lesions which involve only minority of the glomeruli. So these can be missed sometimes. In sclerotic segments, there is presence of collapse of capillary loops, increase in the matrix, and segmental deposition of plasma proteins along the capillary walls called as hyalinosis. So there is collapse of capillary loops, increase in matrix, segmental deposition of plasma proteins along the capillary walls leading to hyalinosis. Next, electron microscopy. Under electron microscopy, diffuse effacement of the food process of podocytes along with focal detachment of the epithelial cells and denudation of the underlying glomerular basement membrane. These changes can be visualized. So there is diffuse effacement of food process of podocyte, and there is focal detachment of the epithelial cells and denudation of underlying glomerular basement membrane. Immunofluorescence microscopy. Immunoglobulin M and C3 complement factor may be present in the sclerotic areas and or in the mesangium. So IgM and C3 deposits can be present in sclerotic areas or in the mesangium or both sclerotic areas as well as mesangium. There is pronounced hyalinosis and thickening of the afferent arterioles. Lastly, the clinical course of FSGS. There is little tendency for spontaneous remission in idiopathic FSGS, which is primary FSGS. So there is little tendency for spontaneous remission in primary FSGS. Children have better prognosis when compared to adults. The factors associated with rapid progression of the disease are the degree of proteinuria, the degree of renal insufficiency at the time of diagnosis, and the histologic subtype. These are the factors associated with rapid progression of FSGS. This is about FSGS. We'll see about membranoproliferative glomerulonephritis in our next video. Thank you.